Hello and welcome back everybody to another video. First, I just wanted to start off here by saying thank you so much to everybody who viewed, liked, and commented on the last one. I appreciate all of you guys' support. It really means the world to me. Anyway, let's just get into the topic at hand here today. I'm sure all of us are aware of what AI is, and if you don't, God, do I wish to live like you. AI is nothing new. In fact, we can trace back the creation of AI to 1956, but tests to make artificial intelligence were in the works all the way back to the 1940s and 50s. In fact, throughout almost all of ancient history, the thought of someone crafting or creating consciousness has been told through many stories and myths alike, such as Pandora from the Greek mythos, a daughter created by Hephaestus, a master craftsman given life by the gods. And I thought I might just add these guys in here because they look chill as hell, but golems from Jewish folklore, inanimate objects typically made from clay that are given life to serve their masters and perform tasks, kind of like AI. Now, these examples are just to show us how prominent AI is around the world and the incredible amount of research and development that went into creating this amazing thing that we dreamed of for so long. And now, we use it to make videos like this. Now you see, I used to really ride on the AI party train, and I still do think AI is fantastic for many things. But one thing I will never approve of, at least in my personal opinion, is entertainment. Well, how are people using AI for entertainment anyway? I hear you ask. And the answer is short form content and kids content. According to a study done by Brain Balance, they found that kids and teens on average have a much lower attention span than the older generations, with them finding that childhood development experts generally say that on average, attention span by age is just 2 to 3 minutes per year of their age. That's the period of time for which a typical child can maintain focus on a given task. Of course, this can vary between ages and children, but this shows us what type of audience this content is generally pushed towards and consumed by the most. Those with the lower attention spans. Now, generally this type of content mainly is going to focus on the age groups of around 8 to 15 years old, but can stretch even further down the chart, with a lot of AI content even being found on YouTube Kids. This type of content looks and generally is bad for our kids. It lowers their attention spans and can lead to early onset depression and anxiety. This is due to the lack of motivation or ability to focus on or do much of anything. It's a sick cycle that me and many other young adults have found ourselves in. The infamous doom scroll, the never-ending flood of content, whether good or bad, can and will be consumed at a rapid pace. Especially now with the introduction of AI, many use this cycle to make what is known as a content farm. Now, what these AI and content farm channels do is post as much as possible with no regard for the lack of quality in their content or the accuracy of the information provided in many of these videos. Many of these videos can be purposefully misleading, not even discussing what's going on in the actual video, or just a voiceover of someone else's post. This brings me to a question I asked myself while researching this topic. Are these movie clips or these AI voiceover videos an example of AI earning money for people by piggybacking on copyrighted content or stolen content? Well, it seems like it's kind of a split issue. On one hand, we have most of the legal system claiming that anything that AI makes cannot be copyrighted due to the lack of a human author. However, copyright can be considered if it has been presented to have enough human input to make it an original work, and not one done solely by AI. Another problem mainly facing a lot of foreign creators is that people from the US or wherever else will steal videos off of say Douyin or Rednote or some other apps, add captions, have the AI describe what's going on in the video, and then some of them will just add a startling amount of transitions, sound effects, and at this point I can't even tell if I'm watching a YouTube short or a Johnny Test episode. Moving on, how do we bring justice to those wronged by the creators of these AI channels? Would they be subject to a fine or even possibly jail time if these AI accounts get copyrighted? Well, according to an article made by the South Florida University Libraries, we were able to find some answers. In an interview, they were quoted as stating, "Generative AI tools can be used to infringe on a copyright owner's exclusive rights by producing derivatives. Before entering any copyrighted material into a generative AI tool as part of a prompt, permissions may need to be obtained." They also found in an interview with Matthew Sag, a professor of law in artificial intelligence, that many of these AIs have been trained on copyrighted material, with many cases using these generative AI platforms on the basis of copyright infringement. Similarly, because these AIs are trained on copyrighted material, there's a good chance that the AI will just recreate the characters or the material off of which it was trained, just slightly different. This brings into big question unto what can be done and what will be done about AI infringing on human content, and how the creators and prompt makers and trainers of these AI companies can be held accountable. Much of this training is done without the permission or knowledge of the creator of these videos, with many expressing their disapproval of the content being used without prior approval. Many cases similar to this are ongoing, with many court and judicial officials working together trying to figure out how to rule on many of these cases of AI infringing on other users. With no direct ruling or statement from the Supreme Court on how courts should rule over cases of this nature, many still go unresolved. And many of these creators of these generative AI and these trainers feeding these AI copyrighted content without the permission of the creators will probably go unpunished in a lot of these cases, at least for now. Another of the main topics that I wanted to discuss when mentioning this generative AI content is, how does this affect not only the brains of our kids over time, but how has it affected our brains? Every day we all use apps like Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, with reports finding that just on average in America, you can expect someone to spend at least over an hour a day just scrolling through and watching short-form content. The ease of access and addictive nature of these short videos make us want to watch more of them. There has been a continuous and large spike of screen time on average since the 2010s, with it predicted to only increase even more. In 2013, the average screen time was just averaged around 6 hours per day. In the past decade, that number has risen substantially, with the average American adult spending nearly 7 hours on their phone daily. This number rises even more when we account for kids and young teens' screen time, with the number rising to a scary 9 hours on average per day. According to most studies, this time is spent on social platforms and video websites. These trends show an average screen time increase of about 8% since the early 2010s. And with the average teen only being awake for about 12 to 16 hours a day, that means that just over half, at around 62.5% of their day, will be dedicated to the usage of their phones. As a teenager myself, seeing these statistics kind of scare me. It makes me worried not only for myself and not noticing my abuse of my own screen time, but it makes me worried for my younger siblings. In a study done by Potsdam State University, they found that increased screen time can lead to disruptions in your sleep schedule. The increased screen time and exposure to your screen's light can trick the body and actually lower your melatonin levels for several hours. This can also cause hormone imbalances. This increased screen time desensitizes our brain's reward system by increasing our dopamine production. This increase desensitizes your neurons to dopamine over time, requiring more for the same effect. Over time, this leads to an increase in anxiety, stress, and can cause depression and low mental energy. Increased screen time can also cause explosive or aggressive behaviors, with many using their phone as a way to calm down. This turns into them using these meltdowns as a coping mechanism. Over time, this content and this increased time spent on our screens has and is breeding us into having lower IQs overall now, higher rates of depression and suicide, and has inadvertently caused a global mental crisis. To help, you should try and take a break from screens. Go out and take a walk, go have a conversation with someone that you love. Just make sure that no phones or screens are involved. Many, including myself nowadays, are finally starting to realize the genuine impact this type of content and this type of device usage is doing to us. And it's scary to see it all increasing at such a rapid rate. I mean, in the 50s, they just thought that we'd have flying cars and self-tying shoelaces. Now we have to deal with waking up and seeing this first thing when you open TikTok. So, what conclusion have we even come to today? It seems that we just have a big problem facing us with not much of a way to do anything. AI is such a fast and scary growing thing. In countless depictions in media, it's shown us how AI has gone too far or has turned on humans. Now, I don't think anything like that will happen just yet, but I wouldn't doubt that with the crazy speed at which AI development is progressing every day, how many new jobs it makes and replaces, how many systems it's helped, but in many other places like entertainment and especially fast food drive-thrus has harmed.
2 vanilla creamers and 2 sugars.
Was that a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit?
No.
It's just such a mixed bag of what we can or even should do. How can we even punish an AI? I mean, there are so many things I think I don't need any inclusion of AI, and personally, I think it will and has started to make the dead internet theory seem more and more true every day. I'm not sure of what the current landscape is for the future of content or the future of AI, but we can only hope that some regulation can come into play and help us figure out a way to deal with AI content like this. I want to thank all of you guys again so much for watching, and I just wanted to profess how near and dear this subject is to me. Just as a content creator myself, I'm sure me and many others are in fear of what may happen in the future. Now, personally, I don't think the AI will ever be able to fully replace human content, but it's just a scary thought. And you know, maybe Mom was right. It really is that damn phone. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.